Camera steering makes omnidirectional parts act in ways some consider to be unnatural. Not even that, omnis can't do that. They just spin in circles constantly, as they should. Well, some benefit more than others. Myriads and hovers are a prime example of broken mouse steering, while things like atoms or meat grinders can be more or less fine. Funny how the mech lovers always say, "Go for the legs, it disables them, it's easy." Yeah, bud, sure. Mile. Tengus are just weird. And I do agree that you should be crippled if you have only one leg left. From playing with other legs, for example, if you have one dino left, it disables their ability, and you pretty much just limp on the ground. Apart from the fact many say that it's a problem, but go off, mate. Baya. Clearly sarcasm isn't your strong suit. They also need a similar nerf the Myriad got in the last balance patch. Boosters shouldn't work with legs the way they do right now. More so, they shouldn't even be able to exceed their top speed limits in any way at all. No wonder those boosted cockpit Tengu Triton builds are the new cancer. Because that's the next game-breaking mechanics those toxic Myriad users found. They were already a problem in the last Mech BFU with similar builds using Lancelots, thus the Tritons obviously can't take the blame for that. The only way they should exceed their speed limit is going downhill. That's about it. The ones I saw were Catalina Tritons. I don't agree with the crawl around in circles because that's stupid. Just make it so they have a limited crawl speed of 30, at most. Tengus, for whatever reason, defy everything, which is why I fucking hate them, and they should be gutted more. Why not? Every movement part stops working properly when there's one left. It's just physics. Augers? Based on how augers physically work, they wouldn't be able to do anything past circles back and forward. Yet you can turn without any steering wheels, or be able to steer left and right with one track. Why are people using physics as an excuse? And also the fact OP just decided to not respond to my reply is comedic. I've never owned augers. Regardless, I want you, as a human, to report back if your leg gets chopped off someday and tell me you're totally incapable of getting around. I can hop at a much slower speed. You also can't run as fast as some of the slowest vehicles in the game. Your legs are also not made of steel with high-power pneumatics. You are also a fraction of the size. Mechanical legs? And not to mention that with robotic legs most builds only have 2, as using 4 is going to either make your build awkward, reduce perk strength, and inflate your PS. They can't spam wheels everywhere, so destroying one leg being enough to stop them from being able to move is a bad balance decision. Plus, it's a leg, not a wheel. One has many joints to allow a wide range of motion. The other moves forwards or backwards, especially considering if you lose 1/4 of your hovers, the most fragile movement part. You can't shoot anyone with most weapons, and you can barely move. Here we go with the nitpicking. Obviously, it depends on the mech build and how the legs are put on. Sometimes you take a leg off and they can't do anything, because the leg can't touch the ground. Sometimes you take the leg off and they can drage themselves around almost as good as before. They aren't the only builds like that. Goliath tracks can do this, even though it makes 0 sense with having one track. Several Omni movement parts can do this. It's nothing new. For legs, it's the reality that it makes sense that this is a possibility. Even you, a human being, can drag yourself around with one leg. Just be glad they can't hop around on one leg like the Monty Python. It's only a flesh wound scene. This complaint is like complaining the sky is blue. That's just the reality. It crawled away at full speed, with 0 issue. I've never seen another movement part do that. At least Goliaths can be unstable when they lose one track. I'm gonna try this in the garage, and if you're trying to piss down my back and tell me it's just the rain, I'm gonna be pissed. Okay, so one leg will still work, but the ability sure as shit doesn't work with only one. A lot of mech players are still correct. but I believe what you saw was that even with one leg, the build was still underweight and was able to maintain full speed. So I hope these two were damn near dead, with almost zero armor left to weigh it down. Still doesn't take away from the fact that the cab and guns are now on the ground and probably were damn near impossible to use. All of my builds, whenever they lose one leg, often go over the tonnage limit. So they get severely slowed down. Some can't even touch the ground at all with the one remaining leg.